Si butta là di
dobbiamo stampare le luci perché là non si vede la luce sembra là.
rigido.
Riuscite a vedere così? Riuscite a vedere così? Meglio?
Si vede sicuramente meglio il monitor, la proiezione.
Voi invece?
Sui relatori. C'è un po' buio sui relatori. Te l'ho detto, però.
Ho visto che i danni sono troppo alti.
È perché è in automatico.
Ah?
È in automatico, non intende niente. Ah no, però lo posso fare.
Perché proprio tutte le telecamere.
Non lo so, non le conosco bene queste camere. Tolto. Ok, era filmato. sulla relazione.
Ed è letta con quella là. Ho sbagliato?
Si è aspetta, aspetta sui relatori.
Guardate un po' a sinistra.
Living now in one of the types of artificial intelligence, not the first and not the last, but this opportunity is for me very important because years ago, the concern was how technologies, how artificial intelligence of humans in the industry, but the problem is now that the artificial intelligence speaks, not only machines speaks. And the concern is about the white collar jobs. We were speaking these items with our guests, but first of all, I think president, no, the dean of apparatus with production speech. Please.
Prima di tutto silenzio, a tutti, se no non si sente né la registrazione né sentono le persone qui, i ragazzi che parlano in inglese e gli abbiate avanti. Quindi adesso tocca a me che non è più inglese zoppicante. Good morning everyone. Before I begin, I must apologize to you for my English pronunciation. I'm very happy to be here with you today. My name is and I am the principal of abba-ballini. I'm truly pleased to welcome you to our school. I would like to extend a most cordial welcome to the students who have just arrived from our partners. We are very happy to have you here. Also, a warm welcome to everyone here in the room, and a special greeting to those who are following us by live streaming on your YouTube streaming-abba-ballini is proud to be a hub where education meets the real world needs of the labor market. Today, we are thrilled to host the Eco Idea Debates and Economic Days. This international event, part of our Erasmus education project, focuses on a definite topic of our age: artificial intelligence and the future of economy. We would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to our European partners, ASMI from Spain, and was from the Czech Republic. Your presence is essential for this exchange. These experiences are invaluable for our students, fostering growth through the exchange of different cultures. In an era that challenges us to discuss essential human principles, such encounters promote the fundamental values of tolerance and inclusion. This ambitious project would not have been possible without the dedication of our faculty. A special and profound thank you go to Professor Ciperri. And the gratitude of the Abba-ballini for their hard work is immense. We also look forward to the debate tournament taking place tomorrow, March, where our students will challenge each other in English. We are honored by the support of the prestigious partners, Università di Brescia, di Brescia, Camera di Commercio di Brescia, Confindustria Brescia e Confartigianato Brescia. It is our sincere hope that this collaboration will become even richer and more fruitful. The synergy between the school and the world of work is absolutely necessary in this extraordinary moment of economic transformation. The great uncertainty that surrounds us, from wars and economic crisis to political instability, is now joining a revolution that AI is bringing to every level of our lives. Understanding these mechanisms will make all the difference for the future workers and citizens that you, our students, will become. Finally, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our moderator, Massimiliano De Barro, and to all the distinguished speakers present today, Cancelucci, Laura Rocca, Barbara Donzelli, and Cristina Zanini. Thank you for sharing your high levels of expertise and for helping our students navigate these complex challenges. Thank you all for being here to help us bridge the gap between school and the digital future. Let us begin.
If I remember, we got very quick greetings from our guests. I think that something in the room okay. And also speaking. Thank you. The institutions.
Le istituzioni abbiamo qui visti Confartigianato e tanto la grandi camere di commercio che sono dei due amici. Se può fare un saluto solo della platea. Due parole. Italiano.
Allora, buongiorno a tutti. Quando il dirigente scolastico ci ha chiesto di poter aiutare e intervenire all'interno di questo convegno, noi abbiamo detto molto volentieri, nel senso che riteniamo che la relazione con le scuole sia fondamentale, perché evidentemente questi studenti, buoni studenti, siete il futuro delle prossime generazioni di lavoratori e di le tematiche che oggi affrontiamo a questo tavolo, ma anche con degli studenti che sono
Chamber of Commerce is, I'm a manager, public manager. Chamber of Commerce is a public entity that takes care of enterprises and help enterprises to grow up, to be national. I don't remember the word in English, to grow, and we stay near enterprises and also near the schools, because we have some competencies about the schools to let meet enterprises needs about labor work and school competencies. So I'm very glad to be here. Thank you, and hope you enjoy your long stay, or long or little, I don't know, stay here in Brescia. Thank you.
Thank you. For start the afternoon, just disclaimer, got two guests, two speeches, then break, and then the last two speeches, and at the last half an hour, we've got a round table, and so if you want to collect your questions, and we'll try to explain your questions. Okay, Cristina Zanini is the chief of the area di sviluppo di impresa Europa e innovazione di Industria Brescia. The items will be focused on the relationship between innovation and can I say the ownership of the technology to be safe with artificial intelligence in your life, but also in businesses.
Can you hear me? When I was asked to talk to you about AI, I was wondering because, can you hear me? Yes. Okay. I was wondering because you have been, okay, might look strange, that would be great. So, I was, you cannot hear me. Okay. Now, it's okay? Perfect. Okay, I was saying that when I was asked to talk to you, to talk to you about AI, I wondered what I should have said to you because I've been your age and I've been a programmer. I don't know which one knows about basic programming, has got basic programming skills, but there was one of them. And so today, talking about something that is strongly related, going back to your age, has a very big meaning. So, I decided to talk to you about what it means for you today to enter an organization with AI. Because what you have to do today is something completely new from what we had to do. Because you're not just entering an organization, you are entering an organization together with something. And to prepare my speech today, I didn't use any LLM tools. And I'm telling you just at the beginning of my speech, a few years ago, to catch your attention, to try to to tell you a story, I would have used the exact opposite statement, and I would have revealed it only at the end of my speech. And actually I did, because that's what happened. I had to give a speech on AI a few years ago, and I revealed it only at the end. Why I did that? Why I didn't use an LLM tool? Because words are means. I don't know if you can catch the exact translation, means of transportation. right? Can you get me? Can you get what I'm saying? And I know you really don't sound like very old statements on old grandpa, or people remark that they use when they want to tell you off. And if, you know, at your age, I would have known of the very second someone would have told me something like that, like, I've got hope, I've got... I can assure you that's what happened. When old people were trying to tell me, you know, that, you know, words are means, you have to care about how you use words and whatever. But give me a chance to explain here. It's not only how you use your words, it's how you actually, how you put them together, how you build your sentences, and how you transfer these words that delivers a completely different message, you know, and whether you know it or not. So the way you use your words, the way you build them, gives a completely different message that is behind the single words, the single meaning of every single words. And this meaning is much more than knowing whether I'm good or bad at grammar. Because it goes deeply inside you. The way you use, the way you transfer your feelings, what you want to say, the way you do it, reaches, the way I do it, reaches my beliefs, reaches my experience, grabs my experiences. And, you know, I'm trying to overcome decades that stands between me and you, and that's very difficult. So I didn't want to use any tool because that's my unique way to do it, and that has got the meaning. So, going back to you entering a company with AI. How do we enter a company with AI? You know, that's a very, that's a problem that we are facing because, as I said, we are not born and we are not probably as skilled as you are with the AI tools. And when we realize that with AI, I have to say something, what we call AI, since I'm a programmer. Behind what we call AI is so many different technologies that can all be reconducted only one word. It's not just AI, there are many different technologies, but let's call it AI for simplicity right now. When you do potentially so much, because you can do really a lot with AI, the problem changes. Because it changes from the question you ask yourself, you ask your colleagues when you work. You don't, for years we asked how increase revenues, how increase, how I reach my objectives, how I do all this. Now, the answers are simple, laying down the table for you, but they're simpler. How is it? So when you go how is not that, it's not that difficult. The question you have to ask yourself is what and why. That's much more difficult. So when you enter a company, an organization, how is easy. Oh, it's not that easy. Now, how could be easier than what we had to face in the past? We were focusing on how to do. Objectives were few and very clear because we didn't have all the possibilities you have today. Right now, since you've got so many possibilities, it's not how. The problem is why. Why you create and what are you creating and what you are transferring and how you are transferring what you want to mean. what you want to transfer. As I said before, it's also something like few people are confused about. Is AI, what is AI? Is it new? Is it brand new? Have you seen the AI, like, did they invent it like 3 years ago, 4 years ago? No, AI is so old, you cannot imagine. We didn't call it AI. That's a joke. I used to be with a data scientist for me. And I was a friend. I used to joke him also about coding because he used Python, and I think who used Python and hasn't gone through C++ doesn't know any real sufferance. And when you go through real sufferance, you really learn. I code in COM. I don't know if anyone faced it, but it was like. So is it new? No, it is not. It is absolutely not. It was not new for us. It was not new for companies. It was not new for anyone. And inside companies, we use AI, and you know it because you have lived with it. And the situation our technologies is because we use AI for a long time. What is AI? So I don't really like to use AI because there is so many technologies behind, but it's to make me understand. AI is a cake with 4 ingredients. Bear this in mind and your life will be easier. It's a cake with 4 ingredients. Data, computing capacity, algorithms, and coding. That's all AI is about. So what changed in the last year is we have got much more data, we have significant increase in computing capacity, and we, over the last 15 years, because LLM are old algorithms, there's nothing new, over the last 15 years we went to some breakthrough in algorithmic breakthrough. We went back. Not LLM is not that. It's more about computing capacity. One was, for example, a very good breakthrough was visual recognition. There was a real breakthrough when it happened. It really changed a lot in technologies. What changed is they gave it to you for free, almost free. Well, that's what changed. There was more capacity, but what didn't change, what give you the idea that was something new is all of a sudden anyone could access. So you must wonder why. That's something. Why it should be your first question in everything you do in life. So they gave it to you. There was the data scientist office, still is today. So just to give you the idea, the data scientists, people who work with AI, really use analogic much more than digital. So, I hope everyone understood what AI is, or maybe you knew it better than I do, because I just said we are people. We use it in company. We use to detect fraud. Also, we use to do some visual recognition for quality check. We use to also to try to understand which client could be very likely to switch a contract with someone else. We use so many ways. So what are they telling you? That companies struggle are adopting AI, because that's something that we have been telling you and I've been told, and I was actually thinking about it, and I thought, and I give some speeches about it. So you enter a company with your AI tools. Now you understood that you don't have to ask how do I do my presentation, would be good. That's not the main question. It's why and what I have to deliver, what I want to deliver, and how I want to transfer. That's what you, and then you decide how. Because now today you can do it. How? Should I use AI? Should I not use AI because I want to give a different message? Why companies are struggling? So you have a company, they tell you they are struggling. Someone after me will tell you more about that. What I really think are struggling is more they struggle at using advanced data analytics. That's something they really struggle. I think they are. But not because they don't know machine learning, not because they don't have data, not because they don't have computing capacity, not because again, from my point of view, they struggle again at moving from how to what and why. And when you go at business school, the first thing they teach you, the business school, is what, why, and how inside a company is governance. That's how companies ask how, what, and why. And in the Italian market, companies are not used to, also because they are very small companies, they don't have a very advanced governance model. And I think that's the real, very first reason why that's struggling adopting AI. And so if you start practice, not only AI, but also asking the right questions, of course, when you enter a company, you have to ask why, how, and what regarding your company. So it's not how I detect a fraud, it's why I should detect a fraud, why it's important, and how it's ranked amongst my priorities. Completely different. It's how. Is this something I really have to take care of, or that's not my top rank priority? And you see that changes. And how I measure it, because that's, I've got the feeling. I've got the feeling does not exist inside my head. Does not exist. It could be a good hint. It's got a hint of something I want to show you all this. So again, your best skills at entering company has nothing to do with AI. The AI is important on how after. Sorry, I forgot the last. So as I said, that's something you have to take from you take. I hope you get that speech, this last speech. And also one last thing, I lied to you. Because in my whole presentation, I said that I wouldn't use any AI tool to prepare the speech presentation. I actually did use AI. And I use it on this very last slide. That's the only very last slide. I heard someone say, yeah, I understood it, I couldn't tell. Someone said, I could tell. And I want you to look back to all the pictures I showed you. And I want to ask you, what was the picture that, catch you the most? What was the picture that you saw the most? And if it was not the other one, I want you to think about what they said and how true in reality it is, whether you knew it or not. So I hope I catch your attention with one of my pictures, the picture of real life. I really thank you for this opportunity. I thank everyone for being here today and talking to you. I hope I give you some hints of what is going to be after your day at school. I hope you enjoy it. I really did. And thank you.
Thank you, Cristina. Just a question for Cristina. Sorry. Thank you. Okay. You told us that artificial intelligence is a great democratic tool to rise, to create new opportunities and so on. But you said almost that, generally speaking, enterprises didn't have a mainframe to to manage these kind of tools. Are these governments, are these companies scared about the possibility of leaking their data, the possibility to have a problem of privacy?
Unfortunately,
They know.
Unfortunately, they are not. I don't want to go through my personal opinion, but even about cloud, I've got, asking why. Why should I put all my data in cloud? It's a good question. One asks why. Asking why AI is free, AI costs a bomb. Why are they giving free to you? I don't want to. No, it's like, I don't want to sound like very pessimistic. I'm not sounding. It's like not asking questions. You're not being optimistic or pessimistic. It's being stupid. So, it's really, it's not like, right now, I've got a very good friend. She was the senior vice president of Intel Corporation in USA. She was Italian, she was a woman, she was not an engineer, and she was at the top level. And she gave a speech, and she said, when I'm inside innovation matters, innovation technology, every time I raise a problem, but when I raise a problem, it's to discuss, it's to go deep inside. People are like, oh yeah, if you do like that, you will never go anywhere, oh yeah. So you're not new, you're not innovative, why are you asking problems? That's the stupidest things to do. Because we are dealing with something that we do not know. No, you, nor me, we don't really understand how deep goes inside, how deep is the white rabbit hole. We don't really know. So asking questions is the most intelligent thing you can do. Whether you use AI or not, use your mind. It's not like a grandpa statement.
Thank you, Cristina. So be clever and stay true. Giovanni, we got another solution to let's speak.
Io aspettavo anche degli altri ospiti per questa seconda tornata, non sono arrivati.
And they represent the
Comune di Brescia, Don Mattino, consigliere specificato all'amministrazione che ringraziamo.
Good morning, everybody. I bring you the results of the Medium Migration, Laura Stelletti, and the Deputy Renovation of Airport. Usually, all the critics happen at the beginning, but I can see that even when it comes to this, your teachers are true innovators. And when we began our administration, one of the first things we did was to adopt the new brand identity of the city, which is Brescia, your European city. We decided to do this not because we decided to change the identity of the city, but to recognize something that was already happening here. Because what you are doing today is something that we have seen manifest in other educational institutions, other places in the city. We are a city that naturally looks outside of our borders, that is a city which is open-minded and open to confrontation. So we are very happy that here too we can have this exchange with people from other countries, with other students. And one of the biggest things I think the European Union did was to make this possible. And these days, there's an ongoing debate about the words of the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, who said that the European Union cannot be the custodian of the old world order. And I'm not here to say if this is true or not when it comes to geopolitics, but when it comes to economics, business, innovation, enterprise, that is necessarily true. Because the European people in history have always been innovators, pioneers. We have always spearheaded the changes that happened in the world. But in recent times, this has been constantly changing. We are more close looking inside. We have become more conservative when it comes to development in the business and economic sector. And we are necessary to change this. Because I know that this afternoon we are going to have a debate about the opportunities and risks about AI and economics and business. And so you will have to find your answers. But what I can give you, and I really think, is that change is going to happen whether we want it or not. So what we can and we have to do is to steer this change, drive this change, and drive it into better economics, better healthcare, better style of life for everyone. So we really have to keep the importance of the citizens, and we as an administration is what we are trying to do. So we thank you for your effort in helping us and helping each other to find a better way to live.
Thank you.
Per evitare poi problemi successivi, comunico ai ragazzi, così almeno si tranquillizzano, che ci sono 4 interventi. Prima è stato fatto il secondo, dopo il secondo sarà un break di 15 minuti. Quindi potete scendere a fare la creazione, mi raccomando 15 minuti rispettati e chiedo di, ovviamente per fare la documentazione mi rendo conto che questa carta, perché ovviamente in inglese qualcuno di voi sarà un pochino a gusto a fare questo, però ecco, quindi attenzione, un secondo intervento, poi una pausa, poi gli altri 2 interventi e le domande finali, e poi grazie.
Thank you, Giovanni. Grazie Lucy, professor Segretaria Giuliano, representative of Asia, to us that we have to learn to do better with less, because Europe doesn't have the money to build up the technology better than US. And the problem is the same if you talk about the medium and small businesses, because medium and small businesses don't have the money to invest in new technology, in cutting-edge technology. How to solve this problem?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for this invitation. I'm really honored to be in front of you. I know I'm the speaker before the break, so it's usually a problem, but I will try to be quick and try to involve you in this conversation.
Allora, ho detto che la ricreazione è dopo. Non adesso, dopo. Chiaro il messaggio? Grazie.
Thank you very much, Professor. No, my intention is to try to talk with you about how this period of very quick digital transformation can be managed in a small and medium-sized companies. Massimiliano was said, craft companies that are very small have a problem, a big problem. And the problem is that the problem is that this transformation is from one side mandatory because you must have processes that are quick enough for the market and cost effective enough for the market. So you need to change processes in your company. But the magic word in this slide is sustainable. The transformation must be sustainable. So you cannot change all your processes and invest impressive amount of money in one night. You must keep control about the investment, but more important, you have to keep under consideration what is happening in the daily routine of your people. So you cannot change the life of your people. You cannot say to the people today, you do the same thing in a completely different way and restart. So for these small companies, it's very important to have a process under control that is able to make the digital transformation, but to keep the company alive and competitive. So it's not a problem of technology. As Christina said, yes, we have a big computer capacity now available, a lot of data, so we have to get benefit from that. But the key factor is people. The key factor is people, because we are telling people, hey, I know that your job is partly done by repetitive and simple activity. This activity can be done by machine. Quicker than you, they are more precise, they are better than you. So review your job. Your job will become a decision-making job. And you can understand that not for the people, this is a simply transformation of the daily life. Let's start with a bit of academic. We can try to classify in a very schematic way the enterprises in four different categories, depending on the digital maturity of these companies. You know, there are some companies, mainly craft companies, that are applying a very low digital transformation, very few digital tools, and they are using ancient method and they work. They don't want to change, and of course for them, making sustainable digital transformation processes very, very complicated. There are some companies that use basic tools, maybe not AI, call it AI, because Christina told us it's a quite generic definition that at the end is wrong, as all the generic definition. But they are using digital, so they have some familiarity with the digital processes, and so they can start to think about the digital transformation, even if it will be very complicated. Then there are some companies that use advanced tools that are starting to think about how to use AI tools to improve their processes. And then there are, of course, some companies, even small, that are very familiar with technology, and for them, this transformation is natural. And of course, for them, it's easier and easier to move. Even in terms of AI, I try to classify in three kinds. It's very difficult and quite impossible to tell you what is AI and how can describes all the families of tools that are under the umbrella of AI. But I try to classify at least in three main categories. The first is the so-called non-generative AI. So thinking about you have a company, some machine in your production, and you want to make maintenance to this machine before they are broken. So you have to predict when they probably will be broken, and make an maintenance action just before. So you don't stop your production, because this is programmed and managed. This is a non-generative AI that is called a predictive AI that is quite familiar in a lot of companies. They use it since a while. It's not something really completely new. Then there is the generative AI. You know, Christina told us I can prepare a presentation maybe with some help of AI. I can use, I don't know, Gamma, Copilot, Gemini, and so on. So yeah, generative AI is what is changed in the last 3 years. No? Now we can really prepare presentation, articles, relations, reports, very, very quickly. And this is for sure changing our life, helping from the pure operative way. Of course, you have to know how to use AI has to know you, because the very first exercise were very bad. The first article were absolutely far from the intention of the writers. Then if you continue to work, if AI knows you, your style, and if you know AI, now the job is really easier and easier, so we use it. And this can be a good way to democratize automation, as told before. Then the last frontier, you have maybe listened about that, the AI agents. AI agents are some programs that are doing something. They are not only reading data, they are not only preparing documents, but they are really act. So for instance, if we go back to our examples, the non-generative AI can tell us, hey, next week you have to do maintenance to this machine, otherwise you risk to block your production. Then, if you use AA agents, the AA agents can sell the order to maintenance supplier. And so automatically this will be planned and the supplier will be booked to do this activity. And the generative AI can prepare all the report and information to the internal maintenance team. So in this way you can use AI to complete process for one of the most important activity in a small company, that is maintenance. This is an example of how you can combine different AI tools to do different things in different moments and get benefit from them. So why, if you look around, you see that there are lots of difficult to introduce AI tools in the companies. Why this digital transformation is typically so slow? Because there are some important barriers against the introduction of this digital transformation in the company. The two most important are related to people and money. Of course, all the people will ask you why, as Christina told you. So if you want to introduce something, you have to change processes. So not only to replace a tool with another, but to change the way you have to do your job that you do in the same way since years and years and years. People has to be convinced that this will improve their life, not only the situation, the economic situation of the company, but will improve their life at the level and the quality of their job. And this is, of course, a very complicated barrier. People is typically conservative. If I'm doing the same job since years in the same way, you are ready to convince me that it's better to change, otherwise I will never change. Even if you try to impose me the change, I will not accept. And of course the second one, cost, as Massimiliano mentioned, for a small company, money is going for urgency. The typical approach of a small company to spend money if it's urgent, not if it's important. If something is important but not vital for today, I will postpone it. And this is typically a reason to slow down the digital transformation in this kind of companies. The real problem is that the management of change is a competence. The management of change is something that is not visible in the organization of the company. You don't find out any change management responsible. Typically, this is something that is arranged a bit talking between managers, but the management of change is one of the more complicated and important activity and competence in a company, because this means really that you have to preserve the values of the company, the culture of the company, the enthusiasm of the people in the company, changing processes and getting benefits without destroying all the very good things that you have built in the career, in the life of the company. I skip these two slides because I don't want to be longer, but it's just a couple of examples of tentative to stop innovation, no? About cars, about telephone. People is thinking that these new tools are just replacing the existing tool and do not understand the world is adapting to innovation. If innovation is important, is getting benefit, is bringing benefit to you, world will adapt in order to adopt this innovation, to introduce this innovation in your life. So social and cultural factors are very, very important. If we start to work in a company, you have to take in consideration that you are entering in a society that has some cultural values, and you have to keep take in consideration these values. You cannot just enter in changing everything or think I'm younger and so I'm doing things in a different way. You have to learn which is the culture, which is the social environment in the company you are working with. And then you can have an impact. You can be accepted by this society that is the company you are going to work with. It is clear, no doubt, that this increase of the computing capacity, this increase of data availability is important. It brings a lot of advantages. As I told you, and this for you is very, very important, this message, AI is doing simple and repetitive activity. Simple repetitive activity, I will talk to you about which is the impact to you in a very short moment, in a couple of slides. This is for you very important. Simple repetitive activity is done by AI, by tools, by digital tools. Benefits are for sure that you can automate processes. This means that you can apply these processes as 7 days per week, 24 hours per day, with controlled results, and so at the end you are quicker and the results are better, and so you save a lot of time, cost, and resources. So some resources are no more needed. And AI is impacting in quite all the process of the company. We have seen chatbot in the customer service, AI agent in the customer service. We have seen that generative AI can process and generate documents in any moment and with no need of human assistant, or less needs of human assistant. And predictive AI can empower your capacity of planning and scheduling, empower your capacity to control the quality of your products. Then another important thing for small and medium companies is vital to have a good inventory management. So you have to control your stock to understand which orders are coming and to buy the proper material in the proper moment with the right price, the proper price. This is very complicated. Today we are designing what is called a digital twins of the stock. So you can, in the virtual life, to replicate the stock, and so to make different scenarios depending on what your customer will ask to you, and you can calculate which is the best risk to be managed and to launch the order with a very controlled plan that is different from the past. It is clear that the digital transformation is so quick and some tools are so different that one of the problems to be sustainable is to organize the training of the people, the reskilling of the people. Believe me, it's not possible to take a person, give 1 week of training, maybe some YouTube tutorial, and this is ready for the new world. This never happened, never happened. So the reskilling has to start since the beginning with steps, controlled steps, with clear objectives, with clear, we call it KPI, so it's measurable objectives, and this process is another very fundamental process for small and medium companies, because people is typically working in urgent job, for urgent process, for the customers is waiting out of the door, and so the time for training is typically the time that you don't have, and you don't want to spend, and you postpone, and then you are late. Because knowledge is important. You have to understand how AI works, how AI fails, when AI has to be used, when AI has not to be used, which are the mistakes, the hallucination, the affabulation that AI can generate, that can bring you to a wrong decision. So AI is a potential empowerment if you drive. You have to be able to drive the processes, and this means that you have to be aware about exactly what is going during the process. My very last message to you, but this is very important, and I think is the key of my speech today, which is the most important competence that you have to grow in this period to be ready for the world that is expecting to you, the job that is expecting to you, the career that is expecting to you. The most important competence is curiosity, universal curiosity, asking questions, as Christina said. You must continue to ask questions. If you listen a word that you don't know, name of person, name of place, a novel title, a mathematical theorem, everything, please go to your smartphone, try to understand what it is, and grab connection between what you know and what you are learning. Continue to create a network of connection and understand which is the impact of everything new you are learning, because this is fundamental. When we started to work, we started with repetitive and simple activity. And then the expert, the senior, was taking the decision up of our heads. Today, simple and repetitive activity is done by machines. So you will not start to do that. You will start to help company to take decisions since the beginning. One good point for you, experience is less important. Because AI is not able to do one thing. AI is not able to take decision for very complex situation and bring a new situation. AI is looking to the past, but is not able to manage new scenarios. Absolutely not. This is up to you. This is up to you. So you have to continue to raise the right questions, and from the right questions to make connection, to find out the right solution for a new scenario. So this is something that young people can do, and can do maybe sometimes better than experts. So, you know, I know that here there are very different schools. One of the problems we have is an artificial barrier between scientific, humanistic, and technical words. This barrier is artificial and dangerous. We don't want super specialists that are in love with their knowledge and they're not able to change. Even young people, if they are super technicians, they don't want to change. I know how to program Python, I don't want to learn anything else. This is not good. We have to think that even if you are doing humanistic work, archaeology, philosophy, psychology, medical, what else, you will use AI, for sure. So you must know how it works, how it fails. But on the reverse, if you are working the technical, in the design world, you need ethical knowledge, philosophical knowledge, because your job will influence the life of the people. If you are designing a self-drive system or a mechanical part of a medical robot, your decision will influence the life of the people. So ethical knowledge, basic ethical knowledge is important for everyone. So please, this is my very last message. Use the last years in school to train your universal curiosity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Dusi. Thank you for your speech. Okay, let's go to break, 10 minutes, not more, and then let's see us again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Giù il cavalletto.
1, 2, 3, prova.
Allora accomodatevi gentilmente, così abbiamo fatto anche una dichiarazione un po' più ampia. Allora, devo dire, informazioni di servizio: una volta terminata la conferenza, gli studenti di quinta solo quelli di quinta si devono fermare 5 minuti perché c'è la vicepresidenza vuole dare una comunicazione che riguarda la prova invalsi, e quindi è una raccomandazione: ricordatevi che la prova invalsi è obbligatoria averla fatta per poter accedere all'esame di maturità, senza quella non potete, ecco perché la specifica. Quindi please.
Thank you Giovanni. Okay, restart, and before the next panelist, before the speech of the next panelist, we inform that Cristina may answer to a few questions, because Cristina then has another important meeting, and so she has to go. And so please, if you have some question for Cristina and Confindustria and her view, okay, it's the time. The time is now.
Yes, I want to apologize. I really have to leave. It was really a pleasure being with you, and I wanted to apologize. I have to leave.
Prima di io scendo nella platea perché credo che ci siano delle domande per l'altra cosa diceva la professoressa Ferrari, così mentre cammino dico qualcosa, che queste ore possono essere considerate assolutamente come CLIL, perché più di così, più materia specifica di così, ragazzi. Chi è la domanda? Ecco la manina. La manina da sé fuggita.
Good morning. So our question is, you warn students that understanding governance and the deep roots of processes is much more difficult than learning to use AI. So what is the first step a young person should take to learn how to read these complex internal dynamics?
The first step is not taking anything for granted, because when I study business economics, the first thing they tell you is the object of any organization is to create value, isn't it? Did they teach you that? Is it true? The main object of any organization is to create value. And because I was curious, at some point I said, yeah, but what is it creating value? What is value? Is it like rising revenues? No, it's not rising. Okay. Is it doing, is it like having a bigger share of market? No, it's not only that. So no one was able to explain me, exactly what creating value. So I have my model, and it's a model that, of course, I took from the Anglo-Saxons, because, in Italy we're very bad, but abroad they're very good at the governance subject. So when we talk about governance, is to split what is creating value, to have a model, to split how a company creates value. Me, myself, my model is like 8 areas. It's like a company creates value when, of course, has got returns, like economical or financial returns, but also creates value when he does his job well. So his product is, he does his product well, with high quality, or the right quality his market asks. He creates value on a commercial side. So I use 8 areas. I don't want to take you through, because it will take a whole lesson, business economics lesson. If you want, I can explain you in another lesson. when you've got a model, then you start asking what a company is not like you. A company is, once you identify what means creating models, a company should create a system where it keeps asking questions, you know, depending on how it creates value, and giving itself answer. Like in the Anglo-Saxon word is called integrated enterprise management. That is the most amazing subject which we don't teach at school, and even I think at university. I don't know if I think that we do somewhere at university, while it's very well taught abroad, and that's our models on how you ask these questions. It's like it's a subject. It's a subject you have to take, but it's a subject where you can reconduct also cybersecurity, like in my previous experience, because before Confindustria I worked, you can tell from my English, I work abroad, I graduated abroad, and you know, it's something that you really have to learn, and I was taking care of also cybersecurity issues. Not technically, but the most interesting part is if they attack me, what is something that really is challenging my life as a company. So it's like this kind of question. It's like watching a company as a whole. Look at the elephant as a huge, you know, one whole thing. That's the way. But you know, it's a subject on its own. I think what we should do at school, even at this age, we should start talking more and more about integrated, that's important, that's the first part, integrated enterprise management. Risk management is something very vital, and we have got the proofs right now, because when everything gets complicated, whether you have an integrated enterprise management model or not makes the whole difference for companies.
Thank you, Cristina Zanini. Thank you to be here with us. Thanks a lot. So, let's go forward. And now the speech of Laura Rocca. She's a professor of economics and statistics at the Università di Brescia. And the focus will be about the competence. How competence we have to face this very difficult and unknown scenario. Thank you.
So, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I am Laura Rocca, Associate Professor of Business Administration at our university here in Brescia. So, today I would like to talk to you about the future of your profession, the accounting profession, okay? So, first of all, accounting is not disappearing, okay? So, we have a different future, so you have to think differently, okay? So, we are talking about this morning about numbers, recording the past, thinking about the past, doing all your accounting stuff that you're studying now, okay? The problem is, what will be the future? The AI will do automatically all this stuff, okay? We have the machine, we have the generative AI, the agentic AI. So, what will be our future as accountant? And we have two different myths, if you can see here. This is a product of the AI, okay? So, you can see, for example, at university, we use these academic journals, like this one, the British Accounting Review. So, the source is an academic peer review article. So, you have to do a lot of research with a method, a scientific method to arrive to these findings, okay? And what they are saying, on the left you can see the extinction narrative, so replaced by the AI, okay? All the automation stuff, as Professor said before. On the other side, more people, we need more people in the future that has been able to interpret, to govern, to manage all these things, okay? So, a sort of strategic reality, but do you know what are the main risks that we are facing in the future? 2 years future, 10 years future, your risks also. The World Economic Forum tells us about the main problem, okay, that we will face tomorrow. So as you can see, the first one, of course, is geopolitical problems, the war, okay? You already know that we have a lot of geopolitical problems now. But look at the second risk. The second one is misinformation and disinformation, okay? So it's something related to the technological issue and also cybersecurity, of course, and we have the environmental and societal problems. So bear in mind these things. So we will have a problem of misinformation on one side. On the other, you will have problem on societal polarization. So few big rich people and a lot of poor, okay? We know that already. And we have also these extreme weather events related to the climate change, okay? So these are the main issues. But before the extreme events, we have the misinformation. Do you know what does it mean, misinformation? Someone of you? So it is a very common problem. So another point before going, the economic, do you see any blue risks? No blue risks, okay? So the main problem that we are facing in the future are technological, societal, and environmental, okay? So you have to think that for your future. What does it mean, misinformation? This vocabulary, so it is something that is incomplete, an information that is incomplete, misleading, but it is generally shared by people, okay, who do not realize that is false or misleading. So at the end, we are all thinking that is true. And there is no behavior that intentionally will give you a false information, okay? So this is disinformation, malinformation, okay? So the disinformation is something a little bit different. We are thinking that that could be true, so at the end, all of us think that is true, okay? So what is the problem? How we can trust what we are reading, what we are reading in the AI, in the generative AI? How we can say that it's not an hallucination or something like that, okay? So the problem is that this is another work, okay, from the World Economic Forum, the Future of the Jobs report, okay? Again, you will change your work in the future, okay? So, what does it mean? We need the human judgment, okay, to understand if this information is a misinformation or not. We need the sources of information. Be careful about that. And we will have, of course, the AI automation, okay? So we are changing how we do things, okay? So, of course, we need creativity, okay? As said before, you need to be curious about the future, but we need also different kind of skills. You will need different kind of skills for tomorrow. This is the old accountant. You will be the future strategic accountant. So you need to understand the future, you need to understand the machine learning, you need to understand the coding system, okay, how all this information flows. So I try to design to you what are the main 5 identities of a modern accountant. And if you can see in here, it is linking to the risk that we are facing. So the first step is you must be someone who can understand business. You have to understand the business process. You have to understand how to automatize the process, what is your goal, what are the questions, and all the stuff. And then you have to verify the truth, okay? This is a key point. If you ask to the generative AI to create for you a balance sheet, an income statement, an equity statement, or statement of equity, you are facing some problems, okay, about what is wrong and what is not wrong. So you need to understand how the system works, okay? So you need to understand the AI, you need to understand Copilot, ChatGPT, Notebook LLM, Gemini, Anthropic, all this stuff, okay? But then you must be also someone who has the ethical guide inside, okay? So you need to understand what is wrong and what is not wrong, okay? And how we can do that. And the last point is a very key point for you tomorrow is that you must understand also the social and environmental problem as accountant. So you need also to understand what will be the problem with people, with humans, with your employee, with all these environmental problems that we are facing today. So you need a long-term value creation perspective. So you have to think about the future, you have to think about this ESG problem, okay? So this is very small, but what are the skills that in 2030 you will need? You will need, of course, very different kind of skill. I'm joking with our T accounts here. You must need a deep accounting expertise. You need the foundation of what you are studying here, what you study at university. But then you need also digital and data understanding. You need AI literacy. That means that you need to understand the flows of information. You must need human skill, empathy, relational, okay, with other humans, understanding, okay, this relationship. And then, of course, some critical thinking, okay, ethical and skepticism of what you are reading, okay, in journals, in books, and in our discussion, okay. So you need to construct your future baseline, okay, starting from the foundation, starting from our accounting, auditing, tax, business law, all these things, of course. And this is what my colleagues previously said, that is, be careful. You need, first of all, to clarify the problem, understanding what is the goal. I know that you do your homework, for example, using AI, generative AI, ChatGPT, of course. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yeah, yes, of course. So how could you understand if the solution, okay, the answer to these questions are good or not? We rely on the AI. No, please think about, clarify. Think first. Before asking the question, you have to think. Okay? Then asking the question, then analyze, interpret, link different questions, ask for the sources, okay? Ask for the process. You will learn how to do prompt engineering, okay? How to construct your questions, okay? So how can you use all these words, okay? So I think that you need to understand and do courses on that. So this is like what we are studying at our university here. If you would like to come, okay? We have this economics and data analysis. So you have economic accounting and analyzing data. So you have a lot of courses on machine learning and all this stuff. This is a bachelor, this is a master degree, okay, where you have courses on coding, artificial intelligence, with also accounting, okay? And we have also a course, tough and thoroughly in English, business and economics, 3 years courses with all the accounting stuff, all in English, okay? What we are trying to do with this new kind of courses is trying to insert this coding, AI, prompt engineering within financial and accounting and management issue, okay? Because we think that the future of your profession couldn't be as it was in the past, okay? You need to change. And millions of people can ask to ChatGPT. The problem is that the access is for everyone. Every one of you could ask to ChatGPT the same question, okay? So, what is your value? How can I decide to pick 5 of you to come with me in a corporation, big corporation, to earn a lot of money? The value, the difference of the value is in your hand, okay? Because we everyone can access to ChatGPT now, okay? So thinking about also other part of the world, the Asian part, the Indian part, Chinese people, okay? They have all access to the same tools, okay? We have to need to add our value in all these things, okay? So, we know the accounting logic, but we can use that productively if we use the analytic discussion, and then we can explain that to all our decision makers. So, I think that one of your key points, your value could be being this, okay, trust gateway. So you have all this information, you can analyze, you can interpret all these things, and then you can translate that information into action, okay? Because ChatGPT doesn't act for you, okay? Then you have to act, then you have to add your value, okay, to all these things. So, I think that I'll be on time, yes? I'm on time, yes? Now I think that it starts your journey. You have to decide what will you do in the future, but the AI will present in your future, okay? Will be present. So it is something like the curiosity we talked before, the analytic accounting perspective, so trying to solve the problems using also your mind, okay? So, I hope that you all will come to the university. Of course, here we have also a lot of Erasmus agreement, okay? You can start here and then go around the world, okay, to study. And I'm here for your questions. If you have any questions, any doubts about all the things that I'm talking to you, okay, I think that I'm closing. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your speech, very straight and very deep. Okay, the next speech, the last speech of this interesting morning is about the tourism, the future of the tourism. I know there's a class about tourism in this school, and so I think that is very interesting to hear what Barbara Donzelli will explain.
Devo intervenire ancora? Allora mi rendo conto che per voi è una maratona, no? Una piccola maratona, ma siamo quasi al traguardo. Quindi, soprattutto poi mi rendo conto ulteriormente che è stato un sacrificio ascoltare tante ore in inglese, per quanto voi studiate naturalmente, è comunque una concentrazione di impegno maggiore. Adesso magari apriamo anche di là un po' per far girare un po' di aria. È l'ultimo intervento, giusto che io mi scuso, ma allora... Quindi, bene, allora l'ultimo relatore e poi le domande, naturalmente che chiuderanno i lavori.
Thank you so much. Barbara Donzelli teach economics and management at Università Bocconi in Milan. The issue of the future of the tourism is very interesting because, you know, have you seen the last images about the war versus Iran created by artificial intelligence? Fake news, but okay, we are talking about politics, but the same is in tourism because artificial intelligence is changing the way we see the location, the cities, and so also is changing the way we write about tourism. So it's up to you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I try to concentrate my speech in 15 minute maximum. I'm going to ask some questions during it, and so I need your attention just to make sure that a couple of concepts will arrive to you directly in the clearest way. I am Barbara Donzelli. I've been studying economics and tourism at Bocconi University, and I worked at an international consulting firm. And nowadays, in the last 10 years, I concentrated my skills in the tourism industry, especially focusing on technology and on value generation in the hotel industry. Personally, I am a consultant in the hotel industry. I work with Benchmark. That's a company I will briefly talk about during my speech. And today I want to address your question about how artificial intelligence is changing the tourism industry, both on the consumer ways and on the employees' ways. Before, I understood you have a tourism class. Who is following that class? 3 persons? 4, 5? Okay. Who is actually in the room when the class is going on? Okay, I know that there is that. Okay. Okay. So, tourism. Most of the people, when they think about tourism, they have no idea on how big the industry is. Is compared to financial services, technologies, and many industries that you have that you think are larger than tourism. Tourism accounts for 9% of the GDP, 10 in Italy. It accounts for 330 million of jobs, directly and indirectly, and it has 1.5 billion of arrivals every year. It means that people that moves every year are 1.5 billion. Each of these travelers is a data point. Is a data point that has many attributes. Today I want to talk about the quality of the artificial intelligence in tourism because it makes the whole difference. As you know, if you have tried to use the artificial intelligence, you know that sometimes it gives answers that are not properly correct. So you need to understand how the artificial intelligence is fed. So which are the data that the artificial intelligence really needs to work properly. So now in the last years, we have a database that is growing increasingly every year. Let's go briefly let's go briefly in the history of the technology in tourism. In the 90s, in the 60s, till the 80s, the big airline companies had the GDS, the Global Distribution System. They sold airline tickets, and then they combine airlines with other transport and hotels. Then, in the 90s, the internet arrives, and what is the difference? You have seen the born of Expedia, Booking.com, and you could book an hotel and a trip just without picking up the phone, but only by digitating what you were looking for. That's the first big change. The second big change is when those kind of channels became dominant. Nowadays, around 30–40% of all the hotel reservations arise by internet, the OTAs, the online travel industries. Then, from 2010, another big revolution arrives. That's the mobile generation, your generation basically, and the reviews generation. Reviews change the way operator works, because the way you treat your guests, the impact that you have on the experience of your guests became increasingly important. And now we talk about experience and all the economies that comes with the experience that have its root in the reviews that arise from 2010. And nowadays, we are assisting to another big revolution that is as important and as the one that we had in the 90s with the internet arrival. And in particular, we are referring, of course, about the artificial intelligence and the real time. In this way, you can use algorithm not only to book your stay, but also the operator use the artificial intelligence to define the prices, understand which information to put online or not, and many other important operational aspects are driven by the artificial intelligence. I'm not going to talk about all the impact it has in the organization, because I think you have heard enough this morning, but the question is no longer if we have to use artificial intelligence, but the question is whether you understand it well enough to use it at your advantage. This is what you need to understand. It's something that's going on. You need to be able to use it at your advantage. So, what you need to understand first? You need to understand that what are the data that the artificial intelligence is fed from. So I'm expert in hotels, so I'm talking about what I'm expert in. So which data do hotels collect every day? Those that you see on the left are the data that hotel collects every single day. So imagine the bookings, when you book it, for which dates of stay, from which channel, so from Booking.com or by the phone or from the website of the hotel, the channel, the nationality. If you cancel, when you cancel, if you don't cancel but you don't come, that's a no-show. The room time preferences, the length of stay, the lead time, so the booking window, how far you book it in advance, the seasonal demand fluctuations, and competitor rates and availability. So those are the raw data, and this is the intelligence pyramid. The raw data is the root of the artificial intelligence. If you don't understand where the artificial intelligence gets its data, you are missing a big part of it. So you have the raw data. In the tourism sector, the bookings and the reservation are one of the most important raw data that you can have. Then you build on it a business intelligence. What a business intelligence is? The analysis of the database. So tons of Excel files, hours spent in analyzing raw data, trying to understand if you have a statistical correlation between two values or two variables. Then what happened in the past, but what is still happening? Out of this table, you build algorithm and predictive models that try to show you some pattern. but still you need to analyze all the data that you have. And then at the end, the artificial intelligence will analyze all the previous steps in a fast and in a better way than we as humans can do. So this is the pyramid, and the higher you climb it, the higher is your competitive advantage compared to other people. So if you're strong in analyzing data, that's cool. But if you're strong in using the artificial intelligence that is doing everything for you, that's a competitive advantage for you as a new person that's approaching the work environment. So how can we let's make a step back for a moment, because there is a concept that is fundamental. The artificial intelligence is as powerful as the data feeding it. There are two types of data: poor data and quality data. Poor data are estimated data, web scraping data. In tourism, web scraping is not really important, because when you see in booking.com rooms that are like the price of the room in this moment is 300 euro, maybe 80% of the rooms for that day were sold at 150 euro. So the real important data is the price and the transaction that has really been made by the guest buying a hotel room. Okay, so having a small web scraping prices are not useful almost at all in this sector. Small samples is not representative. Weekly update is not enough. Having only past data is not enough. What good data are? Good data are quality data that are real transaction data, actual confirmed booking, having a sample that is really solid and representative, having real-time, everyday data, not only for the past, but also concerning the bookings. Okay, because if you decide to go to Venice next weekend and you book it today, in Venice, they already received your reservation. In Venice, they can understand how many people will arrive next weekend if they sum up all the reservation. But the point is where they can get the data. Having an example from the real world, H-Benchmark actually gathered those data from more than 3,000 hotels from 70 destinations. We have a project going on in Brescia. We collect data from the last 2 years going forward for the reservation for the next year. And we collect it directly from the PMS, from the property management system, that is the software that hotel uses to book, to register your reservation. So this is an example of real quality data. Okay, so if you use for example, there is an artificial intelligence system called Manus. I don't know if anyone have already used it to book a room or a flight already. That it's an agent AI. As the professor was saying, agent AI means AI that do not just generate an insight for you, but also do something for you. So AI can be a tourism agent without 2 legs and without 2 arms, but can do all the tasks that an agency, a tourism agency can do in a better and in a more precise way and in a more complete way. This changes completely the way that hotels and tourism attraction, all the way they advertise themselves and all the information they have on their website. Nowadays we see a real change in the website, not in the front end, but in the back end. Who really is able to move from the CEO, the search engine optimization, to the AI optimization, has tons of hidden pages in the back of their website with all the information that the AI need for those artificial intelligence agents to book the room for them and to have all the information they need to have. This is the real competitive advantage an hotel can have using their artificial intelligence. So, concerning the hotel, just to understand, is someone looking or will like to work in tourism one day, or someone that will never work in tourism one day? Is someone interested in the tourism industry in this room? Are you interested in, or you have no idea? I hear you breathing, so I know you're here and you're listening to me. So raise the hand if someone has never thought about working in the tourism industry. 1, thank you. 2, thank you. 4, okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, so how the work is doing, for example, before AI, how an hotel or a tourism attraction define the price. Before AI, you have to look for all the variables, and for example, a normal thought before AI was, in summer we charge 120 euro, in winter 80 euro, weekdays may be a discount. To get out of this, I spent hours going through spreadsheets, reports, and booking data. Hours. And by the time I had a clear picture, the market already moved. This is really frustrating, and this is the job that I was doing before AI, and I had to do this job for the next 360 days. So 360 analysis, and I could follow before I had 3 clients. Nowadays I have 25. Why? Because with the AI, if I feed the AI with the right data, and that's the real competitive advantage, I can follow as many clients as I want. If I have a proper system and I know properly how to use the AI, it means that my revenues grew 10 times. Okay, this is the real impact. So what do I ask? Anything I ask, they tell me already the inside of the analysis that took 2 hours for me to make, and they give me a suggestion. And this happened automatically. Before I was analyzing this, now I am asking which weekdays in July are underperforming, and it answers me without me looking at any data. I work with data any days. I'm not a person who loves data, but data are really important to transform an opinion into a real action plan that works. So this is something that really helps people who also do not love data. So from Excel spreadsheet to BI, to predictive models, to conversational AI that can be understood from everyone. And this is an example of my artificial intelligence. Of course, I didn't build my artificial intelligence, that would be impossible. We bought a private space in Microsoft Power BI. I feed it with my data. I inserted other data such as weather forecast, events, competitor availability, historical demand patterns, and many others values. And I analyze it in my Power BI, and the Copilot, that's the artificial intelligence of Windows, tells me what the data means and tells me the suggestion, because I am training it to give me the answer based on my way of thinking. So I have to understand my way of thinking, teach him my way of thinking as it was a trainee in my company, and he understands it and he is able to reply it. Those are examples from really complicated data to a really simple sample text to read. So, why we are talking about, is the artificial intelligence in a way, is like, are we threatened by the artificial intelligence? Will the artificial intelligence replace most of the job that we have nowadays? Well, the honest answer, in my opinion, is it depends on what you mean by us. If the question is, will artificial intelligence replace us? It depends on what you mean by us. What AI does better than humans, it processes millions of data points instantly, identifying patterns invisible to the human eye, remove emotional bias, react in real time, and it works 24/7. What do we, us as humans, do better than AI? We understand the context and the local environment. We build a genuine guest relationship. We make ethical choice. These tools do not have ethical structure. We handle situations that have never happened before. This tool is not able to handle situation that has not been that never happened before. And most importantly, we define the goal. The future is not AI instead of human. It's human who know how to work with AI. The people who will be the most valuable in this industry are not those who resist the technology, but those who understand it well enough to direct it, to question it, and make it work for their specific context. Critical thinking, as we all were saying, is the one that makes you irreplaceable. This is the big change that is happening today. It's not whether AI or not, or whether we will be replaced. There is a change in act. And the people who will have a competitive advantage are the ones that will be able to dance with it. So, let me close with something practical. The most valuable professionals in this industry over the next 10 years will combine 3 levels of skills. The technical skills, as you read, the data literacy, understanding the BI tools, basic knowledge of AI, understanding the data set. Analytical, critical thinking, pattern recognition, financial literacy, the ability to make decisions with incomplete data. And the human, the most important, the communication skills, the ethical judgment, creativity, cross-cultural, and multilingual skills. Those are the skills that we need to have in order to have a competitive advantage. So, there are many AI. Another thing that's really important is understand which one to use for which task. To build this presentation, I've used 3 different AI, one for the presentation, one for text, and one for the content. So you need to understand that the most important skill is understand which AI to use for which task. And today we address these 4 main issues. So the importance of Turing, the importance of the database, the importance of judgment in this revolution. And if you have any question, I leave you here my contact, my direct phone and my email if you need some more specification on the tourism. And I thank you all. I hope
No, it's okay, on time. Just, Barbara, thank you so much. I got one question for you, and then we'll open the panel discussion. It's about the human touch in the customer service. because to speak with an artificial intelligence on a chat or by telephone is frustrating. If you are a tourist that has a problem or a booking or another kind of problem. Is the human touch more valuable in this kind of context?
Okay. Till a couple of years ago, I would say absolutely. Nowadays...
Please, silence.
When we used to have the bot, do you remember? The one on telecom and...
Push one if...
That's frustrating. It's better to have a not so skilled human than that thing. Nowadays, the chatbot and the artificial intelligence chat are becoming more and more skilled and prepared and gives proper, useful answers that it depends on the human on the other side. You, as a human, you cannot be a substitute of the artificial intelligence with regular skills. If you want to be better than artificial intelligence, you need to be more prepared than before. Otherwise, that kind of skills and jobs will be replaced by artificial intelligence because it performs better, and it's more prepared, and it works.
It knows a lot of things.
She knows a lot of things, and it doesn't cost less, but it doesn't cost per hour. So it's easier to make calculations for the business owner. The real difference will be the human touch and people who are really skilled, and of course the artificial intelligence will need to be trained by people who knows the job. So that's the importance.
So we are becoming a trainer.
A trainer, yes. Like if you have a lot of people that works for you, and one person will do a lot of...
Thanks a lot, Barbara. Giovanni, I think that we've got a list of questions for our panelists. Okay, hands up your hand if you want to put a question to our panelists. Thank you.
Good morning. I have a question from Laura Rocca. You highlighted that the output generated by AI tend to have a cost of zero, making the ability to generate trust the most valuable commodity in global business. How is this trust concretely built and maintained in a market dominated by automation?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your question, very interesting. I think that it will be paid for that. So if you are a trust gateway, if you are a very good business advisor, a consultant, very good, and trying to say, okay, this could be wrong, this is true, make attention to this is a complex problem. You can identify the simple stages of this problem, and you will be able to use a real good, rigorous methodology also in your analytical thinking. I think that it will be your advantage, okay? So the trust that, for example, entrepreneurs will pay you for that. Otherwise, we have the AI automation. We already pay this automation for doing all this repetitive task, data entry, data automation, okay? So the cost is zero because we have already that for doing a lot of things. So I think that your value is this being able to analyze complex problems, this analytical framework, critical thinking. And you have to try to do that every day, in everything, okay, you are doing now. Also in your school time, okay, using your AI during your class, okay, trying to understand how to do the right question, understand the answer, okay, and being able to be careful about the sources that you use for the AI, how you put the data inside, okay? So thank you. Other questions? Now we have questions for you. Now we go into, say, please, you, to me.
I have a question for Barbara.
Barbara.
In your speech, you mentioned how artificial intelligence is learning to read every single search and review produced online. Today in tourism marketing, we are moving from traditional CEO to GEO, with the travelers directly asking conversational AI to plan their itineraries. How must the promotional strategies of hospitality businesses evolve to ensure they are recommended by these new generative engines?
Okay, if I've understood well, you're asking how the AI is changing the way the tourism industry is promoting itself, right? Okay. We are passing from the search engine optimization, where you had to follow the Google and the search engine rules, to the AI rules. So AI needs a lot more information than the search engine. So you need to give to the artificial intelligence that kind of information and ask the information. If you have an hotel or an entertainment business, like any kind of business actually, not only in tourism, it works everywhere, you have to ask the AI, okay, I have this hotel, which information can you find? And first you check if the information they find is correct. And then you have to ask, which other information do you need in order to promote myself instead of my comparables? Or just to promote myself, to have complete information in order to next time or have a complete profile of my company? It replies. And you just have to follow the instruction. Almost all of my clients, my hotel clients, they have the frequent asked question page with all the information they need in order to be more chosen by the AI. So you have to ask the AI, and sometimes also we were talking about the prompt skills. That's something that is really important today. But the most important thing to understand is that the AI, the artificial intelligence, will give you an answer. If you need to complete a task, ask the AI, the artificial intelligence, what is the best way to ask you to do this task? It will answer you, and you just have to ask again, because it's stupid. The artificial intelligence is stupid. That's the real thing. You need to have a human logic brain in order to dance with it. You don't have to fight it. You have to understand how to use it well. So if you have also an online course about AI by who practically use it, then I suggest you to buy it and to spend a few money in it, because it's really worth it.
Other questions? Però, senza scomodare l'inglese, qualche minuto ancora di silenzio ce l'ha fatta a farlo, no? Qua mi sembra che state già pensando alla ricreazione, quindi abbiate pazienza, abbiamo quasi finito. Tra l'altro i ragazzi, alcuni vostri compagni hanno fatto un lavoro con i docenti, hanno scritto le domande, quindi anche per una semplice forma di rispetto dovreste stare zitti.
Okay. So, good morning. I have a question for Kanzio Dusi. So, in your slides, you highlighted the lack of knowledge on how to calculate ROI is blocking investment in small businesses. So, with the amortization of AI, be a sustainable cost that truly boosts productivity, or does it risk becoming a financial sinkhole for a small artisan, absorbing resources without clear returns?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you know, the problem is that when you do an investment, the most important thing is the so-called return on investment. So you need to make a simple calculation, say, okay, I'm investing 2,000 billions, but at the end of the day, I will get 3,000 billion, that's okay. Then, the second point is that you must survive during the period, because the return on investment will be not just tomorrow. So you have to take a bit more complex calculation that is not only which will be the return on investment, but even if we can keep alive till the return on investment will come into the company. For the digital transformation, there is no tool that is automatic will help you to understand which is the return on investment and which is the time frame in which you will see the big advantage of this investment. So it's a bet. You have to bet in your future. You have to understand which will be your customers and which is the expectation of your future customers. And then to have a process that is a human-driven process to invest money and to introduce step-by-step digital transformation. So any step has to be managed with the calculation of the return investment in order to be able to stay in the market but to get benefit. This is very complex. So this is typically this can be done with some support by organizations like Confartigianato, Confindustria. So this organization, if you work together, if you're a small company, you work together, coordinated with the other companies similar to you that are the same problem, probably you can survive. Training can be arranged together, investing can be put in a pool, so you can, data center can use the pool. So the suggestion is to try to be coordinated with similar companies like you, and so the return on investment can be absorbed, and the time frame can be quicker. And this is a suggestion that is a bit complicated in our scenario in Italy, unfortunately, but I think it's the only way to be able to do what you were asking to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our panelists. Thank you so much to you for your attention. I've got only a suggestion: if you are good readers and if you want to know how our future will be, there's a novel written by a great British novelist, Ian McEwan, and the title of the book is What we could know, quello che possiamo sapere, and it's about our future and our relationship with artificial intelligence. Thanks a lot to all, and Giovanni, if you want to say something.
Thank you everyone for the inspiring morning. A special thanks to our moderator, Massimiliano Barba, and our speakers. Thank you to our partners, Università di Studi di Brescia, Camera di Commercio di Brescia, Confartigianato e Confindustria. To our students and international guests, well done. The challenge continues with the debate tournament tomorrow. So please, use what you learned today to become the conscious citizens of tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Le quinte si fermino, le quarte possono andare. per le quinte è una cosa, avete tempo anche di fare ricreazione, quindi non vi preoccupate, va bene?
Andiamo adesso, dai. Non ho assolutamente idea di come si chiude. Chiudo la diretta?